Καλησπέρα από το βίντεο τέχνης Γιώργου Φακανά, την αίθουσα Αθηνά Live, που έχουμε σήμερα καλεσμένο μας τον Timmons. Mr. Timmons, thank you for the time.
Thank you, man. It's great to be here in Athens for the first time. Yeah.
It's the first time here, huh?
Really excited. Yeah, the whole band. It's the first time we've been to Athens. Beautiful day. It was fantastic. So we just came from Germany, where it was below freezing and ice and snow. So it was quite welcome to come here to the warm weather, and we're at this beautiful hotel that overlooks all of Athens. And as you can see the ruins from the balcony, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
So you're gonna do two shows here in Greece.
Yeah.
One today and tomorrow.
We've got tonight and tomorrow. We're gonna do two sets each night, so it's kind of different for us. We usually just play one long set, but so we're gonna just rearrange things and make it unique.
What do you mean two sets?
Meaning just maybe play two 45-minute. Yeah, that's by the request of the venues, but we don't normally do that. But tonight's we'll switch it up. It'll be fun. Make it different, spontaneous.
Okay.
I like that. Switching it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your music career.
Sure.
When did you first start playing the guitar?
I was about 5 years old. I had 3 older brothers that played guitar, and so there was always music around the house, a lot of guitars, and I had a toy plastic guitar when I was about that age. So I was learning, I could play melodies on one string, and so it kind of just, took off from there. I was learning basic chords. I was self-taught till I was about 16, and then I started taking lessons and learning about jazz. But I grew up playing Kiss, rock and roll, Rush and Ted Nugent, 70s rock. Yeah. And so I've been playing now for 44 years. So I should be a lot better, right?
Okay. So at what age did you have your first gig?
I was about 14. It was in America, so it's when you're in 8th grade, 8th year of grade school. And I was about 14 and I played my own 8th grade graduation dance. So it was me playing on a stage about this size in front of everybody that I went to school with for 8 years. I was a nervous wreck. And I still have stage fright. But you learn after many years, because I was a very shy kid growing up, music was my outlet. That was my form of where I felt comfortable, of communication. So yeah, to have your first gig in front of everybody that was kind of trepidatious to say the least. But over the years, you learn how to channel that into a positive energy. Like tonight, I always get nervous before I go on, but once you're playing, it smooths out.
What is that makes you nervous? It's the technical aspect of your playing, your performance.
I think it's just everything that we all tend to be perfectionists in the band. So you're just trying to strive for the level of what you hear in your head. It's like all the great players that you have learned from and aspire to be as good as, while adding your own unique voice. So in different situations, like tonight, I'm using rented gear. It's not my normal rig, so there's going to be a good energy there, just trying to pull different tones. And certain sounds will be cooler than what I have on my other rig. Then I'll miss certain things. So that can add to the sense of adventure. But that's the beauty of live music. It's never perfect. I think if it was perfect, it'd be kind of boring. I don't want it to be safe. I want to live on the edge. That way there's moments of beauty and amazingness and some stuff that doesn't quite connect, but that's okay. It's okay to be human, I prefer that.
You mentioned in your earlier musical influences bands like the Kiss and stuff like that, but your latest album is a redo of Sgt. Pepper's with the Beatles.
Well, my first and foremost love is the Beatles. I mean, that's the first music I remember hearing. I was born in 1963, which was the year the Beatles, they came to America in January of '64, but '63 is when they released their first music, so I've literally been hearing it since I was born, and has always been my favorite passion, But when I started learning how to play guitar, I was in my early teens, and 70s rock was the most popular, and quite frankly, those bands were easier to learn the songs than Kiss. Than the Beatles. The Beatles were more difficult, I think. Kiss was, everything was in A, like Ted Nugent. So for a kid learning by himself, because I didn't have a teacher, there was no tablature, there was no videos. You had your ear, and that's how you learn how to play. And that's still the biggest component today. As a musician, your ear is your most valuable tool. Now everybody's on the internet watching YouTube, which is cool. I watch all that too, and it's a great way to pick up ideas and learn. But this is what's important, not your eyes. Music is about your ears. You have to develop that. That's what sets you apart. Once you really develop that heightened sense of being able to recognize everything going on around you, being sensitive to that, and then being able to apply what you hear in your head through your instrument. for me, that's the ultimate goal. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but that's what I always strive for.
So why now? Why now? Why Beatles now? Why did you do Sgt. Pepper's?
I couldn't have done it 10 years ago. I couldn't have done it. If you understand the concept of the record, there's no overdubs. I did all the arrangements for just one guitar, bass, and drums. I did all the arrangements on my own, and then Mike and Mitch, the original drummer, had to kind of figure out how to fit in with what I had done, and I didn't listen to the record to do the arrangements. I did it all from memory. That's how that music is inside my head. It's part of me. It's what I, have listened to more than anything else growing up. And so I never would have had the courage to even consider redoing a whole Beatle record, much less their iconic Sgt. Pepper, one of the most loved records of all time. It took a couple of years of just kind of piecing, working at the songs, and the initial idea wasn't to record it. I was doing it just for fun. We'd been doing a version of Strawberry Fields on tour, and then Ricardo, our tour manager, suggested, well, you should do more Beatles and do a whole night. I was like, no way, I can't do that. But it gave me the idea, and it kind of just got the wheels turning, and I started working on different songs, and then it kind of led down the Sgt. Pepper path. Anyway, so my playing, since the Resolution record has changed in that's the first record where we didn't do any overdubs. So I had to kind of figure out how to voice melodies and chords together, kind of thinking like a jazz player, but with distortion, it creates other issues. So, but thinking in those ways of, playing the melodies, supporting with whatever harmony was available. And so with the Beatles thing, I literally was trying to apply melodies, chords, orchestrations, whatever I could remember as I heard the song in my head, trying to get it all incorporated into one guitar performance. So, I think that's why it was just a matter of, being a mature enough musician to really pull it off in a way that I thought was respectful and of value. Because there's been so many Beatle cover records, and I'm a huge fan, but I don't always like the Beatle cover stuff. I had to really believe that it was something unique and special to even consider putting it out there. And very fortunately, the overall response from the whole Beatle community has been very positive. Because I can see where a lot of people might think, oh, we don't need another Beatle cover. Some resistance from my fan base, I think. Some people don't. I kind of had this thought that like, well, everybody's a Beatle fan, but that's not true. It's hard for me to imagine because it's such a part of my upbringing.
But your fans were expecting you to keep on playing fast licks and
stuff like that's cool and that's fun. But to me, the record for me is more of a statement of like, well, here's where it all comes from. Here's the melody. If you like my playing, it's not because I'm playing fast, because I don't do it that well. I mean, I have some technique, but there's guys that play fast and shred it and do great. I want to be more recognized for songwriting and a nice melody. And it's nice to have that palette to paint from where, if blazing fast playing is red, you don't want just a red painting. It's nice to have all the other colors to have a better picture. So that's the way I consider music.
The whole Beatles era and Sgt. Pepper era is about changing the world with music and art and stuff. And do you think that music can change the world, and how?
Well, okay, I don't know if it can change the world, but I can't imagine the world without it. I don't think I'd want to be here if it wasn't for me. Music for me has just been.
Do you think it can bring peace, for example?
I think it certainly has influenced a lot of positive things. I think, and what the Beatles stood for was an amazing thing. They changed the world, but I don't know if they specifically brought peace. I think they believed in it, and they tried the best they could to promote that idea, especially John Lennon. He and Yoko did so much to try to advertise peace, and I think it's beautiful. Whether at the end of the day it'll help the Israelis and the Palestinians, or there's so many things to surmount. But I will say that I can't imagine life without it. I can't imagine having that calming and just or the release of energy, the great rock and roll, and what that does for your spirit and your soul. It can be uplifting, or it can help you cry if you need to let some emotion out, and something touches you in a certain way. I mean, there's certain music that I put on and just brings me to tears, and it's great to be in a place to feel that, and so that's where I see the value of music, and the really great musicians that are writing and playing on that level, like Jeff Beck. He, to me, on the electric, guitar has really raised the bar as far as expression, and I think we've only scratched the surface. I think there's so much possibility with what this instrument can do, and instrumental music in particular too, because there's only so much language, but there's an infinite amount of emotion, right? So there's how many words can describe a certain feeling, or you can feel it from a great musician. You know? So that's kind of the goal. That's what I want to keep trying to, you know, raise to a higher level.
What's the next step for you? What do you want to do next?
The next step, we'll have a. So after this Sgt. Pepper record has had its run, we're still kind of promoting that a little bit. We have another whole batch of new Andy Timmons Band songs that we actually started recording around the same time that the Beatles music was recorded for our Sgt. Pepper record. So there's 14 new songs. We're writing even more songs, and so hopefully by the end of next year we'll have a new record out. You know, Resolution Part 2 in a way, but different too. You know, I want to carry on in that just strictly trio format. Okay. Then who knows, after that, there's so many things I want to do, you know. I want to just keep growing as a player.
Yeah, let's talk about your guitars and
your
gear. So what are you playing here?
My tried and true, this is the start of all of it. This is the AT100 that was built for me in 1994, the first prototype for the AT100, and it's still the guitar I play to this day. Nicely relics, you know. Well, for lots of playing. And today I'm on I have a rented system, so not my normal rig. I've got 2 Marshall 900s. They sound pretty good. I'm usually a Mesa guy. I like the Lone Star a lot. Don't have one here, so I'll play the Marshalls. I'm running everything through my OctaSwitch, which is a Carl Martin unit. That helps me switch between, I can change channels on the amp, go from clean or lead. Distort that mic real nicely. So on the clean sound, I've got the Carl Martin compressor, which I've loved quite a bit. And I have the new exotic SP compressor, which is more like the old, I think it's like an old Ross compressor. So I have a couple different compressor sounds I can use. I have the Bob Bradshaw Dunlop Wah. Everything in the effects loop, I've got the Timeline, which is a really nice echo unit that I've got pretty much dialed in to sound like my old Memory Man echoes. 2 different delay times. An expression pedal can give me more or less volume. On this lead channel, I've got the RC booster, which is a nice exotic pedal. The Marshalls are a bit brighter than I normally like, but again, I'm making it work for today. And here's the Healy Modded Blues driver on the clean channel. Octafuzz, which I use on the radio channel for. And then there's a new Mojo hand effects called the Rook. I'm using that as a slight boost on the lead channel here. The chorus occasionally to spread stereo on the clean channel. That's the main stuff. An old Peterson Strobo Stomp. A little carbon copy for slapback echo for the.
Well, which one of all you couldn't live without in a live situation?
Echo. Echo and probably my BB Exotic AT custom preamp, which I have with me, but I'm just trying different things. But yeah, one gain pedal and an echo, I'm in. That's it.
Thank you very much for
You're very welcome, man. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Have a nice show tonight.
Thank you. Very happy to be here. Can't wait to play, man.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Για περισσότερες παρουσιάσεις μουσικού εξοπλισμού, ενημέρωση για τα επόμενα event και συνεντεύξεις, επισκεφτείτε το Guitarspot.Gr.